Out there, one second, let me see if I could prop this up so at least you can kind of see my face a little bit better. I'm driving because I'm working today. I'm heading back. Oh, there we go. Okay. I just had several thoughts today. I usually schedule a live stream, but basically I had to address an issue. I've been getting a lot of copyright strikes. Apparently YouTube does not like me DJing albums, which is ridiculous anyway, because they keep hitting me copyright strikes from, all of them say like 2002 mix, 2012 mix, which is crazy because all the albums I play so far have all been original pressings from the 70s, because all I played so far is I did 2 live streams. My first one was Aqualung by Jethro Tull. Now they only hit me with I think 4 copyright strikes on my first live stream, but they let me keep the video up. They didn't remove it, they didn't take it down. For some reason, I guess the rest of the album they didn't care about, even though there's like 12 songs on the album, they only cared about 4 of them. Now, last week, which was probably the most successful live stream I've done so far, I got 11 copyright strikes for the 11 songs on the album Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars by David Bowie. So, that video, they completely removed from... They didn't remove it. I can still watch it and play it back, but nobody else can even access it. YouTube has completely disabled it. I can't see your comments, by the way. I'm also driving, so I'm sorry if anybody's talking on the chat or anything. I can't see anything you're saying. Talk amongst yourselves, I suppose. But so anyway, what I'm getting at is I might have to change my programming a little bit, because my goal was to find enough people to subscribe to my channel that liked the kind of music that I was playing, so that I could gain a following for my original music, because my goal is to do more shows featuring my original music, but the music I do is centered mainly, I guess, in the vein of classic rock, maybe a little bit more alternative. But I can't be doing these DJing these albums, which I really love. You know, that's a passion of mine, classic vinyl, and I really wish I could feature more of these albums for you. Next, I have a vote up on Twitter, and I put 3 albums up, and so far the leader is Metal by Pink Floyd. But unfortunately, you know, I don't know if it's worth it, because I don't want to lose my YouTube channel for playing records for you guys. I mean, I really want to do it, but after researching further, I don't see how I could do it unless I actually contact ASCAP and BMI and get a mechanical license to be able to play the music. Now, if I could work something out where for a flat rate I could play any album I want, then I will gladly do that. But I can't be individually paying the estate of David Bowie or the whoever owns Jethro Tull's music or whoever owns Pink Floyd's music. I can't be paying them every single time I have I play an album, because I'm not making any money doing this. I'm literally doing it just to entertain my followers, and most of which are part of the Unbearables. So shout out to the Unbearables, and I really thank you for your support, for all the people who have been following me on Twitter. I think Kiwi Bear, if she's in the room, I don't know. As I said, I can't see the chat, so I don't know who's here. But thank you so much for getting me all those followers. I think in one day, I literally doubled my followers. Every single day, I'm getting more and more followers on my Twitter. People are subscribing to the YouTube, and I really do appreciate that. But I think I'm going to have to change my programming to feature more original content. So I think what I am going to do is reach out to the Unbearables and see if they have original content that they would like me to feature, because I'm going for a little bit higher production value. I don't want to just grab an acoustic guitar and sing for you guys. Kyle Kavanaugh does that, and he's great at what he does. Shout out to Kyle. If anybody watches his stream, shout out to Kyle Kavanaugh. He's fantastic at taking requests and looking up the song right on the spot and being able to at least play it in a somewhat reasonable fashion for you. That's really not what I want to do. I want to go for more produced music and more finished products. I think it's great what Kyle does, but it's not what I want to do. Because basically my goal was to build a following, and then I've been saving up to do an entire album worth of material. I have about 5 or 6 solid songs that I would like to do and feature. But it's no good if I just grab my guitar and play and sing them for you, because it's not what I have in my head. What I have in my head is a complete song with all the parts, because those of you who don't know, I live in New Jersey. It's an insanely liberal place, unfortunately, and the kind of music I'm into, which is like classic rock, I can't find the 30-year-olds that want to play that kind of music. And I don't want to get into doing covers are a hobby for me. I really don't want to be in any cover bands. I want to have an original band. But I can't find people that share my politics that want to play music. So what I've done is I literally had to teach myself how to play everything. Bass, drums, guitar, piano, so I can actually mix and assemble. I also had to teach myself how to record, because, you know, when I started making my own music, you know, I was just a kid and I didn't exactly have hundreds of dollars to go into a studio to record music. So really, that's what I've been gearing up to do, is build an audience and entertain you people, all my followers and all my watchers out there. But you know, it's rough. It's been getting rougher, especially since I got the idea. You know, one thing I'm passionate about is playing vinyl records. I've always been into vinyl since I was a kid. But if YouTube is just going to be taking down my videos so nobody can watch and appreciate the sound of a classic vinyl, then there's really no point in doing it. Especially when they hit me with copyright strikes for the new mixes of the songs, which I'm not playing. I'm playing records from the 70s, which have been bought and paid for since before I was even born. So it's just, the whole thing is kind of crazy. What I have to do is I'm going to have to, my last week's live stream, which I played Ziggy Stardust, I'm going to have to take that, because there was other content in there besides just me playing the record. It's one thing if they wanted to cut the audio from the actual music part, but they made it so you can't even watch the video, period. And because one segment that I really like doing is the stories about my grandfather, and the stories that my grandfather used to tell from the old country. He was from Austria-Hungary. But, you know, people don't even have the opportunity to be able to watch that because the freaking copyright strikes. So much traffic. I'm in Princeton today. I do mold remediation and basement waterproofing, but today I'm doing I was doing formaldehyde testing. Nasty stuff. Not exactly what I thought I would be doing with my life, to tell you the truth. But anyway, man, I don't know. I'm gonna see if there's a way I can view the chat here, so at least I well, it says I'm supposed to be able to see the chat, but I don't see anything that you guys are saying. I don't know whether it's just not popping up on the screen, or there's a button here. Let's see if I put chat hidden and then I put show chat. I don't know. I don't know whether you guys are talking or not. If you are, I can't see anything that you're posting. Anyway, it's probably best to not pay too much attention to that anyway, since I am driving. But, so anyway, it looks like the live streaming of the vinyl is going to be out. What I want to do is, I guess, in the meantime, until I build up some more repertoire of my own original content, I'm going to reach out to some of the Unbearables and some of my other followers, and if they'd like me to feature some of their original content, I would love to be able to do that, because I have to go in a new direction. I have to completely change my programming. So I guess keep tuned. Make sure that you check out some of the other Unbearables live streams. There's a lot of very creative people in the Unbearables community, so make sure you check out their stuff. Everybody's very helpful and very supportive of one another. So anyway, anybody that wants to reach out to me, anybody that watches this, contact me, direct message me on Twitter is probably the best way to get a hold of me, because I'm obsessive with my Twitter right now. At LCMTV Breath 4, which is Locomotive Breath 4. Those of you who haven't picked that up, it took Owen Benjamin a while to catch on that LCMTV is locomotive with the vowels taken out. So direct message me at LCMTV Breath 4 at Twitter. If you have original content you want me to feature, whether that's art, whether it's music, whether it's stories, I'd love to be able to put something together, because I have to completely change my programming from playing the classic vinyls. This week I was going to feature metal, because it looks like that's the album that y'all are voting for. But no matter what wins, unfortunately, I am not going to be able to play it, because I think I'm already drawing too much attention to myself with the copyright strikes. So I'll probably just talk about the album this week, whichever one wins, and then I'm going to have to change my formatting. So this week will probably be the last time I probably won't be playing it at all. Maybe that's what I'll do from now on, just talk about vinyl records. I'm kind of good with record players and that sort of like tech repair. So if people are interested in that, I mean, I'm into a lot of stuff. Car repair. I was a mechanic for a while. Let's start, I guess that's a good subject. What jobs have I had? Let's see. Let's go over it. With my mechanic experience, my family has been mechanics since forever. My grandfather, he came over to the United States when he was 12. And when he got into his 20s, he became a citizen, and he started to learn how to work on cars just by hanging around garages and stuff, because with the older cars, they're a lot more simplified than they were today, so he was able just to learn just by watching. And then the war came. World War II I'm talking about. I believe that the reason they came over here in the first place was because just everything was all messed up after World War I. So he came to the United States, and he learned to work on cars. So he had kids, and his wife had died, so he was a single father during the war. So they didn't make him go to war. What he had to do is he had to work he lived in New Jersey, so he had to work in the Camden plant when they switched over to building airplanes and other military stuff. I believe they were just specifically handling airplanes at the time. But because all the men were overseas, and at that time there really weren't any female mechanics, he was basically the only guy around that knew how to work on cars. So he got ahead because of World War II, because he was able to earn some money, because he was who everybody went to get their car fixed. He was able to save up, and he bought his own garage, and he made a name for himself. I don't know if there's anybody who watches my stream that's from New Jersey, but he was in the Scotch Plains area, and he used to own Blue Star Esso back before Esso became Exxon. I think you could still find Esso diesel in places, but Esso's what Exxon currently is. But anyway, so it's funny because also his father built coaches. My grandmother's father built coaches. So it's funny because it's kind of, we switched over from coaches to cars. So that's kind of always been in my blood, and I kind of taught myself how to work on cars. And my uncle, who owns Atlantic Tire in Avenel, New Jersey, if anybody needs your car fixed, feel free to go up there. Shout out to Atlantic Tire. One of his mechanics had a heart attack. He didn't die or anything, but while he was in the hospital recovering, he needed somebody to fill the gap. So he asked me if I would like to come work for him. So I worked for my uncle for a couple of years repairing cars, which gave me more experience in that. Also, as a hobby, I build guitars, which is fun. I haven't built one in a while, but that's something I also like to do, which was definitely influenced by Brian May, which is the main guitar that I play is my Brian May Red Special. Absolutely love it. It's the kind of guitar, though, that you need to have everything geared specifically for it, because a lot of times I have to, when I switch to my other guitars, I have to completely change all the settings because they just don't jive with each other. The Red Special's a very, very bassy sounding guitar, so you need a treble booster a lot of the times. Thankfully, I usually play with a distortion pedal, so I don't need to use the treble booster too much to get rid of some of that muddiness. It also depends on what kind of amp you get. I mainly have it there in case, you know, I was in a band for a couple years. It's another thing that I did. And sometimes, you know, you would just use the house amp and you didn't know what you were going to get, so sometimes it would just be so muddy and bassy sounding that you needed something to cut through the mix a little bit. So you needed a treble booster, but that's what Brian May uses, is a treble booster. But anyway, there's a lot of things that I'm into. What would you guys like to know about guitar tech stuff? You know, classic rock history and stories. I don't know if anybody's been watching, if you guys like the stories of my grandfather, but I have to figure out a completely new program schedule, so I'll be figuring that out hopefully soon. I guess I'm going to end this soon because I'm going through downtown Princeton, which is, you know, got a lot of cops around, so I don't want anybody to freak out because I've got my phone recording up here. But shout out to the Unbearables. Go subscribe and watch. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. John Neary, N-E-R-I. He does a stream every morning, usually before Owen goes on. It's more Christian based, so be prepared for that. I mean, he's kind of pandering to people like me, I feel. So I like the things he has to say. He's just kind of trying to get people jazzed up and motivated, which is great. But so shout out to John Neary. Shout out to Kyle Kavanaugh. I believe Island Bear is starting something soon. I think he was talking to Owen today that he's nowhere, or it might have been John this morning. I don't even know. But somewhere today, Island Bear was talking about how he's not quite ready to start his live stream yet. I don't know exactly what he is programming to be about, but I know that he's starting a live stream. Really, I want to get all the unbearables together that do live streams and create a schedule, because I don't want anybody to be stepping on each other's toes or taken away from their time slot. You know, the last thing I think any of us want to do is cannibalize our own audience and compete with one another. It's one thing for Owen to stream whenever he wants, because he's kind of the de facto leader. It's not a cult. He's the de facto leader of the club, so I mean, he has license to be able to stream whenever he wants, so that's understandable. My first live stream, Owen just so happened to decide that he was going to do a stream during my time slot, so nobody tuned in. My second one, a lot of people tuned in. People were having a great time, and then right after I finished the stream, they gave me the emails about the video. And then one of my buddies on Twitter, I tweet gold, follow him. I'm not going to give out his real name because I think he wants his anonymity, but I believe it's at I tweet gold. He reached out to me and said, hey, I just tried to rewatch the stream and it's been taken down. So it really wasn't even a few minutes until they took down last week's live stream, which is really a shame because it got a lot of attention. I featured for the first time my intro song, which I don't know if anybody picked up on if you did tune in. And I also featured a cover that I did of While My Guitar Gently Weeps, which I call While My Piano Gently Weeps because it's just a piano and drum cover. I really liked it, and I figured that since Owen's into the piano, that everybody else would be into it, and that seemed to get some pretty positive reception. You can find the video. It is up on my YouTube if you want to watch it. I have some other covers and stuff up on there, but like I said, there's people on some of the unbearables that do a much better job at covers and taking requests than me. I mean, I can sing, but people like Kyle Kavanaugh have much better singing voices than I do. So I don't know if I'm going to be into taking requests. If I do take requests, I would like to do more higher production value and kind of do complete covers. The other thing is too is that I really don't want to cover songs that I'm not really into, because it's just hard for me to get into a song that I don't like. And Kyle Kavanaugh is already amazing at taking requests of all kinds of songs, some that he hasn't even heard before. So God bless him. He's great at what he does, and I don't want to compete with him because, once again, I don't want to step on anybody's toes. I don't think any of us unbearables want to be stepping on anybody's toes. I think we all need a fair chance, but my live stream has a tentative schedule of every Friday at I usually go live at 8 o'clock. On my Twitter, I usually announce that I'm going live and put the link up about a half hour, just like Owen Benjamin does, before I actually go live. So look for that. Once again, any unbearables watching this, reach out to me if you have original content that you would like featured, because once again, I'm going for a higher production value. I don't just record right to the sound, right to the video camera. I actually have a soundboard that I go through. My first live stream, I was through the headphones, because when I was playing the record, I had a pair of headphones that I was listening back to, and it sounded okay. But listening back to the live stream, I was appalled at the sound quality of the record. Not just the pops and stuff, because you're going to get that a lot with records, is what you're actually listening to is the actual sound wave pressed into a disc. It's not a digital reproduction. So I almost like that you get those pops and clicks and everything. It's just, to me, it sounds more natural. But the record was just playing too fast, which really made the music lose its depth, which I really didn't like. So I fixed my record player. It took me a long time to figure out because sometimes they have potentiometers. Potentiometer is a fancy technical term for a knob. It had a knob where you could actually adjust the record speed. So if anybody has a record player and they can't seem to find an obvious way to adjust the speed, usually you will be able to find some sort of potentiometer in there to be able to change the speed. On this one, it was actually on the motor itself that drove the belt. There was on the back of the metal plate, there was 2 holes, one marked H and one marked L. L is for the 33 and a third speed, and H is for 45. So all you have to do is get like a little eyeglasses, screwdriver, and adjust that knob, and you'll be able to adjust the speed. Me, I could just hear it when it was playing at the right speed. There are apps that you can download on your phone to test the RPMs, but I tried that and it just didn't work very well. It was fluctuating way too high because of the weight of the phone on the turntable. So that didn't work out, but I could actually just physically hear when it was at the right pitch because I'm so familiar with the music that I play. But there are also platter discs that you can buy to put on your turntable to adjust the speed, and it actually has a series of slashed lines. And when the record is playing at the right speed, the pattern will appear to be standing still. If it's too fast or too slow, the pattern will appear to be moving one way or the other on the record. If you want to get one of those, I think you can pick them up for cheap. If you have any like vintage record stores, they might be able to hook you up with an older one for not that much money. But anyway, so I would love to be able to keep playing vinyl records, but unless I can figure out a way to properly license it. It's funny because when YouTube gives you these, rough road here. When YouTube gives you these copyright restrictions, they actually tell you what they intend on doing and what the copyright law actually is. And so far, they haven't been serious copyright strikes so far. Basically, the alerts have just said that if I make any money off of playing these records, they want that money, but I haven't been making any money, and hardly anybody's been tuning in anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But that's what it says. So it's just funny to me that, first of all, their copyright strikes weren't accurate because I'm playing all the original mixes off of the vinyls, not the re-releases from 2002 and 2012. So they're incorrect in their copyright strikes anyway. But then if you look at the law, it says that you can play it as long as you're not making money. So I'm not making money, so why are you taking my videos down? Obviously there's a problem there, and obviously if they're to the point where they're gonna actually just remove the complete video and not just the songs in question, I'm drawing too much attention, and I don't want... It's different for Owen Benjamin. You see, like when earlier today he was doing his live stream, he played a little clip of a song on YouTube because he just wanted to see how it went. But that's a bigger deal for Owen because he has a much bigger following and people super chat him, so he actually does earn money on his live stream. And I know that people are giving him money on his live stream because they think he's funny and they want to support him. They're not giving him money because he's playing that particular song. But that's the case that they would try to build against him, that my song is the reason why people are tuning in, so therefore I want a cut of the action, or I want all of the action, or I'm going to take you to court. That's a bigger deal for him. I'm really a nobody, so I don't think that that's that big of a issue for me right now. But I don't want it to be. So I'm going to have to change my programming. And hopefully I'll be able to come up with enough content to keep you entertained. So anyway, I guess I've said all I gotta say. God bless y'all. Thank you for tuning in and thank you for the support. I'll be giving updates on Twitter as soon as I can to the direction I try to go in. Once again, reach out to me at LCMTV Breath 4, Locomotive Breath 4, on YouTube and on Twitter. And if you have any content that you would like me to feature, or if you have an idea, I would love to be able to do interviews, because if you can't tell, I really like to talk. People have been telling me my whole life that I should be doing something with radio. So here we go, trying to basically do my own radio, and already it's becoming a problem. So thank you for watching. Please continue to watch. I want to appease my audience and all the unbearables and all the other people that tune in, and provide content that you're interested in. So tell me what you would like to hear, whether you like the stories of my grandfather, whether you like me talking about classic vinyl, whether I play it or not. Let me know what parts you like, what you don't like, what you would like to see in the future, and I'll be sure to try to provide some of that content for you. God bless and thank you so much.